much for tuning in to Halton News right here on your TV. It's Wednesday, October 28th, and I'm Jessica Kading. Taking a look at our current COVID-19 numbers here in Halton, 35 new cases have been added since yesterday. Our total number of active cases in the region is now 233, including 67 cases in Burlington, 101 in Oakville, 43 in Milton, and 22 in Halton Hills. There are currently 14 people being treated for COVID-19 in our 4 Halton hospitals, and there are still 6 ongoing outbreaks at our local long-term care and retirement homes. There was a large police presence this afternoon near Gaten-Gervais Secondary School and White Oak Secondary School due to unconfirmed reports of a threat. We do not currently have any additional details, but police have asked the public to avoid the area. McCraney Street has been shut down completely, and Gaten-Gervais High School was put on lockdown while White Oaks was on a hold and secure. We will follow up with more details. Canadians may now have the option to register as organ donors on their income tax returns. MPs were debating this in the House of Commons this week. The idea is to add a checkmark box to the tax forms. The CRA would then share that information with residents' province and have it added to the registry. This is the second time a bill like this is being introduced. It was first introduced back in 2016. It passed unanimously, but then it died in the Senate as an election was called. On Monday, Oakville MP Pam Damoff seconded the motion. In her statement to the House, she talks about why this bill is so important and has advocated for organ donation for years, dating back to her days as town councillor.
Unfortunately, organ donation rates across the country remain, quite frankly, pathetic. Here in Ontario, more than 85% of residents are in favor of organ donation, but only 1 in 3 Ontario residents has registered his or her consent to donate. This trend is similar across the country. There's clearly a disconnect between people's wishes and their actions, and sadly, without an individual registering in advance, the family is often faced with this decision at a time of crisis, dealing with the loss of a loved one when so many emotions are in play. In 2012, when I was an Oakville Town Councillor, I was part of a group of Oakville residents who formed Oakville Be a Donor. It grew out of a call from then Oakville resident Jennifer Malabar, who challenged the mayor and council to register as organ donors. Jennifer developed a kidney disease while pregnant with her first child, Aria. Facing an 8-year wait for a kidney transplant or the prospect of dialysis, Jen was the recipient of a kidney from her husband, Hitesh Patel, on their wedding anniversary, no less. Hitesh later joined me for the Courage Polar Bear Dip, wearing a Be a Donor t-shirt to raise awareness for organ donation. They later welcomed their second child, Sage, and the family continues to thrive. Our Oakville Be a Donor group gathered together the Interfaith Council of Halton, community leaders and politicians to raise awareness across town. But despite our efforts to raise awareness, registration rates across Canada are dismal. I want to share some stats from the Ontario Be a Donor website. In Ontario, there are still over 1,500 people waiting for a life-saving organ transplant, and that number hasn't changed since I gave my speech in the last Parliament. This is their only treatment option, and every 3 days someone will die because they did not get their transplant in time. It is my sincere hope that this bill receives swift passage so that Canadians will soon have another simple option to register as donors on their income tax returns, thanks to his private member's bill. Those who are watching today should talk to their loved ones about their wishes and go online and register today. In Ontario, you can go to beadonor.ca right now. It only takes 2 minutes to register.
This bill does require a second hour of debate before a vote can take place. If it passes the second reading, it will then go back to committee before being brought back to the House for a third and final reading. This past Saturday was World Polio Day. Red polio car flags were distributed and Oakville Rotarians gathered at Town Hall to celebrate the global announcement that Africa is now polio-free. There are only 2 countries that still need help to eradicate polio. They are Pakistan and Afghanistan. Rotarians were also celebrating the fact that their efforts over the past 30 years have helped vaccinate 2.5 billion children in 122 countries. If you'd like to learn more about Rotary or get involved, visit rotaryoakville.ca. As Remembrance Day approaches, producer Nikki Wesley spoke with an acting regimental sergeant to describe her experience standing vigil overnight at the Burlington Cenotaph.
For years, the 2379 RHLI Army Cadets have joined Sea Cadets and Air Cadets to stand vigil at the Burlington Cenotaph from sunset on November 10th until the completion of the Remembrance Day ceremony.
We normally get there around 7:30 for the sunset parade, and when we get there, we do our parade, and then we go back and we set up schedules. So all three elements go together. It is cold, so like you think you're gonna freeze and everything, but while you're standing there with your head down and your hands on the rifle, it kind of gives you that extra moment to like kind of think of why you're there, not just, oh, I'm just standing here. And as you move up in cadets, you get to command that, so you get to stand there and watch all the cadets and give them the commands to move around, so that way they don't freeze, and like we can switch positions and stuff like that. And I don't know, it's just a really powerful thing that you get an advantage to do in cadets, because it gives you, people get 2 minutes a day on Remembrance Day, but we get a whole night to kind of reflect and stand there and get that awesome opportunity to do something for our community and, you know, show what Remembrance Day means in cadets as well.
She has stood guard at the cenotaph for 4 years. Last year, she was in command of the ceremony and had the opportunity to read the monument.
Kind of like hits you, all that information on there and all those names of all those people that, you know, fought for our freedom, that it's all happening. It's till to this day, but it's just a moment to reflect on, wow, kind of. It's more of a wow moment. And I never got to read that monument until I got to command last year. So it's crazy. Like, you just read it and it just kind of hits you just kind of at peace just with what's happening, and just remembering everything that's happened and why I get to be here today with what I'm doing.
The overnight watch and ceremonies like No Stone Left Alone are an opportunity for perspective, says Second Lieutenant Sean Fowler.
I like to bring it back to them, and I've done it a couple times with the cadets where I ask them what's their biggest struggle, just to think of it silently, not tell me, but just think of their biggest struggle in life, what their biggest problem is today. Think about it, and then when they tell me they're ready, and I point them to the stone of a soldier with the age printed on that they were killed, and say, how big is your problem now? And compare it. And it really brings that home to the youth, and they start realizing that these weren't like older people that went and passed away and were fighting. These were people the exact same age as them that went and sacrificed everything for freedom, for the values that we have here in Canada, and for the protections that we have.
As she will age out of cadets in November, this would have been Estevez's last year standing guard. She feels the younger cadets will miss out on the 24-hour focused experience this year, culminating in the ceremony on the 11th.
All that, and like the bagpipes and like those 2 minutes at the actual parade. They do the 2 minutes like everywhere else, but at the actual parade, when there's 100 people there and it's like lots of chatter, lots of noise, and all of a sudden for 2 minutes it just goes dead silent, it gives you chills, and you can't get that at home. It all just stops, and you just think about, this is why I'm here, this is why I'm in cadets, and this is why I remember, type of things. So it kind of just slows down your brain and gives you one thing to think about, and it kind of hits you, like the chills type of thing. I don't know. For me, that's what it is. It's like a huge wow factor every year I go. Like, it might be the same thing, but every year I go, it's just like a restart of this is why.
Reporting for Halton News, I'm Nikki Wesley.
Tonight's episode of Oakville Matters is all about planning for the town's future. Mayor Rob Burton and town's Chief Administrative Officer Jane Cloesi discuss projects in the works for their Vision 2057, including a proposal to bring much-needed seniors housing to the town of Oakville. Here's a preview.
I want to mention the Oakville Trafalgar High School, and I'm talking about the old heritage-designated, boarded up high school on Reynolds that I guess for 27 years, more or less, it's been boarded up. And I think it's accurate to say that we have a plan for that part of the land to become seniors housing. And we've been a little coy about whether the high school's in the seniors bubble or not, but it could be, right?
That's right. The plan actually that council approved as the long-term plan for the site included the high school as part of the seniors. We have, though, explored other options to see if we could use the building for other purposes that would assist the town overall. So we're still looking at some of those options, but it's very accurate when you say the high school could be very much a component of the seniors. We had seen it as offering some of those common spaces that you find in a lot of seniors types of developments. So it fit that role quite well, actually.
The gift of giving back, like all major events this year, cannot operate as normal due to COVID-19. The Burlington Food Bank submitted this clip to explain what the program looks like this year.
Hi, I'm Robin Bailey, the Executive Director of the Burlington Food Bank. I'm here with Jean Longfield, the president, I think, of the Gift of Giving Back, the chair of the Gift of Giving Back, who've been just a wonderful organization in supporting us. And this time of year is usually when we're collecting for the Gift of Giving Back. Jean, what do you have to say on behalf of the Gift of Giving Back right now?
First of all, Robin, I just wanted to take this moment to say what a pleasure it is for me to be here. One of my favorite places in Burlington with you and all your incredible volunteers. And wanted to give you a huge thank you for all you've been doing for our community, not only over the last, so many years, but particularly since this COVID crisis has hit. Thank you, Robin. Your community is so grateful to you guys. So as far as the Gift of Giving Back is concerned, as you know, this time of year we've been preparing a triple gym in one of our Burlington high schools. We'd be stocking it with the bins, ready to fill those bins up for you and our other beneficiaries, which include the Salvation Army, the Compassion Society, the Carpenter Hospice, Halton Women's Shelter, and Food for Life. But of course with COVID, we haven't been able to do that.
Yeah, and so on behalf of us here at the Burlington Food Bank, we want to thank you for having inspired these kids because we've seen them continue to give. We've had Barracuda kids come by and give food to us. We've seen Eagle kids, we call them two hockey players and a soccer player because the soccer players are doing it as well. Bombas come by, as well as Burlington Gymnastics Club, and it's just been amazing to see these kids still inspired to help feed other kids who might need help. So thank you so much for inspiring them. And again, from all of us as beneficiaries, thanks for the Gift of Giving Back. And we're looking forward to seeing what might be in the future. And we know that there's some ideas going on for December. So stay tuned and hear from the Gift of Giving Back coming forward.
Stay tuned. We've got something big planned for December.
We do need to take a short break, but we'll have a way that you could give back in Oakville coming up next, combined with a unique way to celebrate Halloween this year. Stay with us. Welcome back to Halton News. Many parents are thinking of interesting alternatives to celebrate Halloween this year, and Lisa Kohler of the Halton Environmental Network has a couple of events to share with you that will allow everyone to dress up, have fun, and also give back to the community.
100%, Jessica. Thanks for the conversation today. So super happy to talk to you about Oakville Ready to Haunt Hunger. So we have set up 2 locations in Oakville, a drive-through where you can go to 496 Cornwall in the back of the Longos store, working with Longos, and you can drive through. You can dress up your car, dress up your occupants. We have great gift certificates from Ruth's, Black Forest Bakery, Mojo Makers, thanks to the Oakville BIA. So you can drive through, bring your food item, and all the food will be going towards Kerr Street Mission to support their food bank. There is a huge need in our community. And through the Oakville Ready program and our hub at Kerr Street Mission, we've really heard the call to action, so we're trying to support them. And then if you don't feel like driving through, don't worry, Jessica, we've got another walkthrough. So you can walk through downtown Oakville at Town Square, dress up in your costume, come see our volunteers who will be socially distanced, wearing masks and in costumes, and bring your food there. So working with the Oakville BIA, they're also going to have, stores are going to have little pumpkin displays as well. So you can have a nice stroll downtown Oakville, check out the shops, bring some canned items, have some fun, and all for a good cause.
Lisa also explains why these food drives are even more important this year than before.
So the Haunt Hunger, Oakville Ready Haunt Hunger, we, again, working with our Oakville Ready hubs, all those great hubs that we have in our community, we do know at this time there usually was other initiatives going on in community, where kids, instead of asking for a Halloween candy, they'd actually ask for food for the food bank. So knowing that those programs aren't existing this year, we thought, you know what, we have to do something to support. And this is what we thought. We thought, let's do a drive-through, let's have some fun, let's work with our friends from Longo's and the Oakville BIA, and let's make it happen.
Here's a drive through Milton on this fall day as we head into our local weather forecast. We are expecting rainfall tomorrow. Pack those umbrellas, wear your rain jacket, only reaching 7 degrees in the afternoon. Clearing up for Friday, mix of sun and cloud expected, 5 degrees as the afternoon high, down to -5 overnight, getting that frost, and then full sunshine with us on Saturday. Don't forget, daylight savings time is this weekend, as is Halloween, and it's a full moon Saturday night as well. Sunday, we're looking back at rain showers reaching 9 degrees in the afternoon, but that sun will reappear come Monday. The Milton Chamber of Commerce is hosting another webinar. Customers, who needs them? The focus will be on strategies to excel in meeting the needs of your customers, clients, or patients. The online event will take place Thursday, November 5th at 9:30. To register, please visit miltonchamber.ca. And now we'll look at how some of Halton's top companies performed on the markets today. Up ahead, an inspiring story and an upcoming event you don't want to miss. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Halton News. I now have Laura Avaleze joining us. Thank you so much for being with us here today. You're a successful realtor, mother, motivational speaker, as well as an author who's an inspiration to so many women out there. But I know it's been far from easy for you. Can you please share with us some of the hardships you've gone through and how you've managed to pull through it all?
Absolutely. Well, there's been a lot of hardships throughout my life, and I think I've gone through every type of abuse there is, physical, mental, emotional, sexual, and not an easy road to live and go by. But what the ultimate savior is and is forgiveness. I'm a true believer of forgiveness. I'm a true believer in living through forgiveness on a daily basis. With whether it's a big thing or a small thing, we need to forgive. And if I hadn't forgiven, I don't believe that I'd be here today. It's been a very, very tough road. I continue to use my forgiveness on a daily basis if I have to, whether it's something small or something big. I truly believe that when you forgive, you're not acknowledging or saying it's okay what you did to me. You're just freeing yourself. And that's what it did for me when I was 29 years old. It just freed me from like a huge, huge place that I was heading, and I wasn't heading in a good direction at that age. So I'm so grateful that I was able to learn how to forgive.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. And I know there's so much more you can share and inspiration that you have to give to our viewers. So much that you've written multiple books, but we want to save some of that for the attendees at the upcoming From Wallace to Wealth event, which you are a featured speaker at. Can you share why you thought it important to be involved in this particular event?
Absolutely. From a very young age, as I said earlier, it's been a very difficult journey for me in my life. I'm 53 years old. Sometimes I have to remember how old I am, but it's been a challenge. It's been a journey for me, and a lot of suffering, a lot of tears, a lot of challenges, a lot of dark moments, and getting through them through prayer, through faith, through understanding that there is a greater way to live your life. has made it really, really awesome for me to share my story, because I want women, I want to help women, I want to help children to understand that there is a better way to live your life. And we should all have that hope. We should all live with faith. And I always say, if I can do it, anybody can. And so for me to be here is a great honor, to be able to inspire women to their greatness. And that's really all I want to do. Like, I'm a big believer in, I always pray and say, God, please show me where you want to put me to be able to serve. And that's all I want to do, is I want to serve people, to give that inspiration that they're not alone, that they can achieve any goal they want, they can overcome really any adversity that we are given. And I'm a big believer of that. And so to be a part of the Halton Women's Place is absolutely gratifying for me.
Well, thank you so much, Laura. It is so courageous to share your story, and you're helping countless women. I really look forward to hearing more from you.
Thank you. I look forward to November 12th, and I'll have some exciting news to share.
That's right. So the upcoming virtual gala is taking place on November 12th at 7 p.m. Proceeds are going to support Halton Women's Place, Halton's only women's shelter. To get your tickets, visit wallettowealth.ca. Let's take a look now at some upcoming events. And this first event is the one we're just talking to Laura Avalise about. As you can see, Laura is actually one of 6 incredibly inspirational women, all with their own unique stories of resilience and perseverance. The goal is to raise $30,000 through this event for Halton Women's Place. They're currently at just over $20,000. Once again, to get your tickets, visit wallettowealth.ca. Canada's original All Santa race is still the biggest and the best. VR Pro invites you to take place virtually this year. They're offering you $10 off per ticket if you buy now through November 1st. All participants receive a Santa suit to be worn during the run. The run can be completed anytime this year up until December 31st. Visit santa5k.ca for more. And finally, the Zonta Club of Oakville is having a Halloween fundraiser. You can get your box of red and white wines at CorvestWines.com. Thanks so much for staying with us here on Halton News. We'll be back tomorrow night live at 5. For Halton News, I'm Jessica Kading.